Hey, it's Eric here at Peachtree Classic Cars. I'm trying to get my camera to adjust. There we go. Well, it's just so bright out. 1955 Chevrolet 210 station wagon, 4-door. And I'm calling this an easy project car because all the hard work's been done. It's a good driver just like it is. If it was mine, I would do a couple of little projects to it. I would put a different steering wheel on it. And I would put these, it's got these old bucket seats in it that I'm not crazy about. I would put some nicer bucket seats, or probably just put an original bench back in if it was me, and just do a few little cosmetic things more than anything. Mechanically, it runs and drives great. Now, I did notice that I've got to push extra hard. See, it's not cranking, but if I push a little harder, it'll crank right up. It's got a small block V8 with a Camaro front clip that's been put underneath it. So it's got power steering, power disc brakes. It's got a 700 R4 transmission. So we got 4 gears plus overdrive. This is a really easy driving car. Steers super straight. Even the speedometer sets up. I believe it's accurate. I don't know if you can hear that transmission just go down into overdrive. The kick down, punch the pedal and it kicks down. I like cars like this. I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds. The originality of everything else, the body and the glass and all that stuff, with the upgraded, drivetrain. I mean, I'm in a cul-de-sac right now. I can steer this thing literally with one finger. That's my thumb right there. I'm trying to do that with but I mean, that's how easy this thing steers. And actually, I was going to pull back up there in the sun, but it's better to be in the shade to see the vehicle better. So I'm going to pull back around. We'll park right here, show you the car. Now the body's not perfect on this thing. Actually, let's listen to the engine. One thing I actually like too is it's got a little cam in it. One of my good buddies calls them potato cams. He calls it a potato cam because he says the car says potato, 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 potato. I think that's kind of funny. Really cool car. This is one of those ones I get tempted to keep because it drives so good, but not just that. And this would be an excellent advertising piece, or just put a surfboard on top, make something cool out of it. I feel like this is a nice blank canvas that's ready to go, and then you can do your next thing to it. Engine runs good. Nothing showy or flashy under the hood. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off so I can talk to you a little better. And I thought about doing like an engine detail, which we normally do those. And I said, you know what, I'm just kind of throwing this up as a new arrival. This is the way we got it in. We rinsed it off with some water, put some tire shine on it, and selling it so that we can pass a better deal on. And the other thing I've been learning too is I've gotten to where I don't want to do projects for other people. I get some wheels, I get an engine dress kit, I do all that stuff, and then I sell it to somebody and they say, oh yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is I got a whole nother engine dress kit I'm going to put on it, and I'm going to throw some different wheels on it. I'm like, man, I just did that. So I stopped doing that and keep the prices down versus paying for all that stuff and having to charge more just to cover the cost. So anyways, it's interesting. Was leaning on the radiator and realizing I am not burning my hand. So it definitely does not overheat. Nice, clean. Well, I say clean. Rust-free is the better way to say it. Solid, rust-free. Inner fender wells. The firewall looks good. Original tag is present. And I don't see any signs of rust under here. A little bit of surface rust there, which is pretty common, but that can be scraped and cleaned. Hood looks like it's in good shape. It's the original, old school, original undercoating right there peeling off. That would be something I would just finish taking off if it was mine. Another thing is the little latch here was So there's a whole nother part of the latch that's supposed to come out. If I do like this, that little piece comes out there, and I just stick my finger up in there. I think that spring is missing. So it still locks fine. It will not open up. I'm pulling on it right there. Just have to remember to click that to get the primary lock to work. The secondary on there is always, the emergency lock is always working. So well, I was hoping I'd be in 100% shade because I didn't want the car to look too splotchy. But believe it or not, being in the shade's a little bit better when it comes to taking pictures and doing the camera, because it gives more consistency of light. So anyways, that being said, nice straight body. It's got a newer driver quality paint job on it. Somebody did not go to town doing excellent body work before, or show quality body work before they painted this car. So when you get right up on it, you see little, you know, the gap there and a couple little dimples. And as we walk around the car, I mean, it looks good. I would say this is like I said, this is a driver quality. And then you get right up on it, there's a couple little drips there, little spot here, some little stuff like that, little crack. Also, didn't want to forget that this window right here is cracked. And I believe this to be all original glass, and I think that's the only one that's cracked. The nice thing is you can order those two back pieces if you wanted to replace them both. There's a couple of catalogs that sell those. So continuing around, oh, one thing that's nice, it does have a new chrome bumper, new chrome light bezels. So somebody put some new chrome on it. The previous guy put some new chrome on it as you went around it. Nice looking American racing wheels with good tires on them. It is missing one hubcap over here, and you can order those on eBay. They're about $25. And I actually have a matching spare. Got another one of these exact wheels that'll go in the spare. I pulled it out just so that I could do the video and show the spare tire well, because it's nice and rust free. One little nick here, probably somebody holding a tool in their hand when they went for the handle, you know, like this, or when they were installing these brand new chrome handles. But a lot of times I've seen guys, they're holding a screwdriver in their hand, they walk up to a car and they go like this and they hit the car. I can hear it. I've heard a couple of guys do it. Even if I can't see them doing it and we're working in the shop, I hear it go click, and I said, man, you just touched the car with a tool. That is super not cool. So anyways, some of the weather stripping is new, which is nice. Interior door panels appear to be old, original, and this is something, like I said, cosmetic, coming at this car from the cosmetic perspective. I'd probably just go ahead and redo the entire interior if it was mine, because that's affordable to do. You can get everything you need out of the catalog. Like I said, nobody ever cut the dash. I would do one of those retro radios if it was me. It's got the Wi-Fi in it. They look original, but it's got Wi-Fi. This little plastic piece, replace that. They cost like 15 bucks, pop in. And like I said, I can't stand this steering wheel, but you know, put an old original style steering wheel back on. At least it does have tilt, and that's nice. Headliner, saggy. And like I said, if it was me again, I'd probably put an original bench seat in it. I'm not a bucket seat guy, but at least it does still have the original bench seat in the back. You can still see these are actually made to flip up and over. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can see the hinges there look good and everything. Here's the thing, it's still presentable. I would still jump in this car right now and drive it over to a car show. I wouldn't be embarrassed to do that. And you know, people like seeing stuff like this. Hey, it's my project, you know, like I just drove it into the drive-in car show, and it's funny because I actually stop and watch people do stuff like that all the time. It's not always the super nice cars I'm after. So cable system here is how these were originally done. This one's got a little tape on it. It's getting frayed. It's not too difficult to replace those. I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to mess with anything. Window goes up, it still clicks and holds itself. The spare tire well is actually rust free, solid. This is one of the areas where these like to rust out. So nice and solid under here. Now this plywood back here is rotten at this point, and it needs to be pulled up and replaced. Let's see. The little pin here to pull, and then this goes back down. Oh, I got it halfway. Oh, click it all the way. We get underneath it real quick. I've been trying to go around slowly and take my time really showing this is it's kind of funny, a bigger vehicle like this, I do a longer video, but yeah, new weather stripping on the doors here. Hinge pockets look good. This is a cool car. Nice squeaky door there that needs a little grease. Let's go up underneath it real quick. Passenger side fender well. It looks good. I don't see any rust. Couple of typical rust spots here. There's a couple of rusty holes there, and then some replacement steel above it. Not uncommon. This is one of those things, again, if I would have put it up on the lift and just cut this out, it would just look so much cleaner. It doesn't need to be cut out and replaced. The floor, I don't think the floor pan needs to be replaced. I just think that extra rust needs to be cut out. This rocker looks to be clean and rust free. I see all the weep holes here look good, and just a little bit of crusties on there like this, but not rust. And the rest of the floor pan looks good. It's interesting how many times I've seen a vehicle like this, or old trucks too, where instead of, you know, completely replacing the floor pan, this of course is the Camaro front clip. And instead of replacing the floor pan, you know, they patch it from the inside. They actually, oftentimes, guys do a really good job of doing that, but they leave the old metal. And I've heard some old men say, well, first of all, it's faster. Second of all, I didn't want to cut the original steel. So, again, a little bit of a rust there on the seam, but overall, this looks really solid. And then same thing on this side. Your rust hole, replacement steel. And if this was my vehicle, I'd take my Ziz wheel and I would cut this out right here like this, and then put the caulk in it, the automotive caulk, and I'd call it a day. Because to me, I would never make this anything more than a driver. Now, that being said, I sell vehicles just like this to guys all the time that say, oh yeah, we're gonna pull it in the garage and tear it down and make it look just like granddaddy's old Bel Air wagon we grew up in. So, inner fender well on this side. I'd say this is a minimal rust vehicle. Those couple of spots, when I get in here, inner fender well, that's some mud, Georgia red clay, you get that for free. Undercoating coming off there. Actually, it really looks like this is, you know, not been restored underneath. And from what I'm seeing, it looks pretty solid. I'm sticking my head nice way up in here. Is your fuel tank there with the original undercoating peeling off. Oh. Sorry, I'm running a little long on this one. I try to keep them around 10 to 12 minutes, but I just wanted to try. Oh, that right there, actually, even though that looks like a little rat's nest of wires, is actually the wires for the trailer hitch. It's got an old trailer hitch. Nice solid frame under here. Lay down and show this real quick. This is nice, actually. A lot of these are rusted out back here, and this one looks really good. Again, this is also your spare tire well, which looks good. And last but not least, the inner fender on this side. So it could use some cleaning up underneath. You know, some detailing. If you wanted to put it up on a lift, pressure wash it, clean it up, knock some of the undercoating off like that right there. And that's a little rust spot. You can see that. Very minor. Again, the rocker's in great shape, all this. So solid frame rails, which is really good. But, so there you have it. I've run a little long, but I think the car was worthy of doing a really thorough inspection on. Those couple of rust spots, pretty minor, pretty basic. Overall, the car's pretty solid. It's got a great look to it, and like I said, I genuinely would not hesitate this Saturday morning to jump in this car just like it is, drive it down to the car show and pull in. I'm driving a kick-ass 55, you know, Bel Air wagon. I mean, you know, 210 wagon. So what's cooler than that? And I can project on it and enjoy it and drive it while I'm doing my seats and putting a radio in it and some other things and getting it ready for the summer. So anyways, give us a call. It's PeachtreeClassicCars.com. We look forward to hearing from you.